Welcome to 42 Stories Anthology Presents. I'm Bam with our newest interview, Karen Petersen, S-E-N. Welcome.
Hello.
Yeah, I think that if people really want a good sense of what you've accomplished in your writing, they should go to your website. Usually I go with bios, but you've done so much. You have all these awards, and there's just this string of them. We could be talking all day if I go about your bio. But that's at KarenPetersenWriter.com, right? Yeah, and that's
Thank you. Yes.
Petersen. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Just to let readers know, you have quite a few awards. What's the most recent one? Do you remember?
Well, I don't know if you'd call it an award, but it was a nice recognition. One of the chapbooks I wrote was called Influences, the Irish Poems. And I printed out a copy of the manuscript and sent it to President Biden because he's a big fan of the modern Irish poets, specifically the late Seamus Heaney, the great Nobel Prize winner, and many other poets. And I didn't think about it. I just wrote a little cover note saying, here's something to read on the campaign trail. This is before he had stepped down. And I forgot about it. And a couple months went by, and I was getting my mail one day, and I saw this letter on Crane stationery from the White House, and I thought, oh my God, it's some kind of fancy fundraiser. And I was about to throw it away, but curiosity got the better of me, and I opened it up, and he had read the manuscript and responded with a beautiful letter and a quote from Seamus Heaney. So that was something that was a really nice surprise that's going to be tipped into that book next year, which will be published by Finishing Line Press. So I was pleased to, that was just a few months ago.
Oh, sorry. What's the title of the book?
Influences, and then colon, the Irish Poems.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure people caught that because it's definitely worth reading. But
it'll be out next year. It'll be out. The book I have coming out this October is also Finishing Line Press. It's called Wampanoag, the Place of Shells, which is a Native American name for Long Island, and where I grew up. And it's a look at the island, its people, its history, but it's pretty much set in the present mostly.
Wow. I also noticed while researching you that you're kind of well traveled. Where's some of your favorite countries?
Oh, well, Egypt and Japan stand out definitely. Egypt, just because the ancient quality of it as you travel down the Nile and you go to a place like Luxor is really awe-inspiring. I know it sounds cliched, but these are remarkable structures, and you go in the Valley of the Kings, which is this vast sandy desert, and you go down and into where a tomb is, and it starts with the person's life, the hieroglyphics, and as you descend deeper and deeper into the earth, you finally get to the burial chamber where the sarcophagus is, and on the ceilings is Horus stretched across the night sky, and it's very powerful. And then you turn around, you come back up, and when you get into the brightness of the desert and the blue of the sky, you feel like you've been reborn all over again. It's an extraordinary experience. And Japan, well, I mean, Japan has such exquisite aesthetics and amazing food. And when I was there, a friend of mine said, well, he's lived there for a long time. He's married to a Japanese woman. And he said, be careful about the ghosts. And I said, oh, come on. And this is a Harvard lawyer, Harvard educated lawyer. And I'm like, come on, Steve, what ghosts? What are you talking about? But the strange thing was, when I go to visit different temples and things, often I'd find myself in a situation where I'd come around a corner and nobody would be there, except at the very end, I'd see someone like in court dress disappear. And it happened enough that I thought, it must be someone dressed up traditionally, who's giving the tour of the place. And I asked the guide, where were these people? And they looked at me like, I don't know what you're talking about. There's nobody like that. And in fact, when I checked into a minshuku, which is a typical Japanese inn in Kurashiki, they really didn't. I had a reservation, but they really didn't want me to check in. And it was very late at night. There was no place else to go. And I absolutely insisted. And they had this one room left, and they were very uncomfortable about it. So I checked in. The room was fine. It was a typical tatami mat type room. And I slept on the floor with a futon. And around 4 in the morning, I heard these voices. And I woke up, not fully awake, because I was aware that there was a circle of people standing around me, looking down at me,
Oh.
and somehow I could understand them. And they were saying, "Who is this person? We've never seen somebody that looks like this. Are they a ghost? Are they a demon?" And I got scared and I just froze and eventually slipped back into sleep again. And when I woke up in the morning, instead of going left, I went to the right. And I was just a little tired and confused. And there was a door there about 20 feet from my room. And I thought it was the bathroom door. I opened it up, and it was a cemetery
Oh,
on the other side of my room with
wow.
really ancient uh, little tomb markers and things. So who knows?
Mhm.
Who knows?
Yeah. Did you
Yeah.
ever ask the staff about what you witnessed while you're sleeping?
No, I told my friend when I got back to Tokyo though, and he was completely. He said, "Oh yeah, I'm not surprised."
Mm.
So
Yeah. You had asked about my future plans after this project, and I had mentioned some places that emailed me about stories because I wasn't gonna get published, and that was my plan after this project. But one of those stories was a ghost story in Japan. Uh,
oh, cool.
yeah, I was waiting at a here people actually stop at pedestrian lights and wait.
Right.
And I was waiting at a pedestrian light and wrote this story that fast because I heard this voice calling, and it was just saying, Papa, Papa, Papa. And I went, that would be a great ghost story. And I made a ghost story out of it. And
Cool.
and it's in Japan. But yeah, it was a ghost story that I thought of because of that. And you just experience so much in Japan like that, like you're saying, just relating to you on
Well,
it.
I'm actually recently a Buddhist,
Hmm.
and who knows? That was some connection from another life of yours, perhaps.
Hmm.
Your soul, your spirit was connecting. Who knows?
Yeah, it was one of those cloudy days. Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's move to more questions for you. Are you a pet lover?
Sure, absolutely. I grew up with a dog, a dachshund named Horatio.
Hmm.
And then when I was in my 20s, I got my first cat named Kushka.
Oh,
And I picked that name because I had read that cats respond to hard consonants.
yeah.
And this was a Persian cat that was the runt of the litter. And I didn't know what to pick, so I looked at on the atlas at around Iran and Afghanistan, these areas, and there was a town on the Russian-Afghan border called Kushka. I thought, oh, that's perfect. So now I have 4 cats and a dog. They're all rescues, shelter animals from kill shelters. When I
Oh,
moved to New Mexico from New York 10 years ago, I got my first house and there was enough room. And I thought, why not? You know, why not do a good thing? So yeah, it's great. They keep me sane. If I was rattling around here by myself, it wouldn't be good. I like having the pets. They're my companions and they make me more aware. Actually, that's the key. They make me more aware of I guess other sentient beings.
hmm,
And that's important
hmm,
to expand your consciousness of the world.
hmm. Well, about that, you mentioned other sentient beings. Is there something in the world that you want other sentient beings to stop doing?
Well, other sentient beings covers also humans and non-humans.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of humans, I just wish they could come to terms with their aggression and intolerance,
Hmm.
because it creates so much disharmony on the planet and destruction.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate when you look up shootings in America and compare it to the other world because it's like 200 compared to below two digits. And what I want to do is get every American to just travel around the world because it really
Yeah,
changes you.
it
And I'm
does.
not saying that Americans are the only ones who are violent. I'm just saying that it's so different, and you learn about the rest of the world when
We've been in
you're
isolate.
traveling.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I just said you learn more about the world when you travel more, and I think you become more peaceful.
Absolutely. We've been in isolationist country though, really almost since our forming. And a lot of it has to do just our size and positioning in the world. You know, we don't really have to deal with much. Um, and what we do have to deal with are north and southern borders. We try not to deal with. So it's yeah, it's not a very good approach to the planet.
All right, so I'd like to move into kind of writer's questions, but first, before that, who's a writer that you think is the best in the world, who ever existed? Best of the best.
Right. I don't think that's a fair question,
Hmm.
because the world and one's existence in it is so multidimensional, it's so complex
Yeah,
that there are so many approaches to telling those stories, both in terms of how you use language and the stories you choose to tell.
yeah,
So there are many, many writers that are great for different reasons that appeal to you at different points in your life. You know, I think authors, in a way, come to you the way meeting friends come to you.
yeah.
It's a kind of mysterious, magical process. You know, if someone told you 3 years from now you'd be reading Stendhal, The Red and the Black, or The Charterhouse of Parma, you'd think, what? You know, maybe. And yet perhaps those books will come into your life at that point. Things you just have to be open and aware of the variety of things and be curious about the world. And there are many, many writers that can teach you, they can guide you, they can please you. It's a very rich field on all levels, both experiential and in terms of just the variety that's out there. That is life.
Yeah, you have a really good point. That explains why there's so many documentaries out there where somebody read a random writer you've never heard of, right? And they made a whole documentary about it because that writer touched them in a way that no other writer ever has. And they said this one or that one, and just you never know what you're going to get from a writer. So it's worth expanding and not going, there's only one good one. You have a good point. Yeah.
When I was young, I read voraciously.
Hmm.
That's the other thing. Everyone's different, I guess. But when I was in high school and college and after college in my early 20s, I'd have huge lists of books and I'd just go through them throughout the year and in the summer. And I pretty much read my way from the ancient Greeks all the way on up to the mid 20th century thoroughly,
Yeah.
because
Hmm.
that was my way of teaching myself about uh, the history of language in English, and I read in translation too, a lot of world writers.
Oh,
That was in my 20s. But eventually, you know, you have enough experience in your own life, you get to the point where it's either you sit down and shut up and start working or do another field. So the time comes when you must begin to tell your stories and do your writing and process all this reading you've done. So I've been writing seriously for a decade now, and I've read maybe two books in this decade of my life,
Hmm.
but I read thousands prior to that.
Yeah.
So one of the books was All the Light We Cannot See
Oh,
by Duer, which was a fabulous book. I didn't put it down. I read it over Christmas a number of years ago when it came out. The other was A Chain of Voices by Andre Brink, the late Afrikaner writer who taught at Rhodes University in South Africa,
hmm. Just
which
wrote
was
it down.
truly he was in many ways a 20th century Tolstoy, at
Hmm.
least that book. Remarkable tour de force
Hmm.
of narration and weaving voices together. Anyway,
Hmm.
but like I said, they didn't contribute to my own style at that point. It was just for pleasure. I mean, I have stacks of books around waiting to be read when I'm done with the different books I have to finish in the next few years. And
Hmm.
then I'll get back to reading again for pleasure.
Yeah. I don't, I'm sure you know this as a Tolstoy fan, but Tolstoy had a lot of writer's block. What do you do about writer's block?
Oh, well, it either can last from 10 minutes to 10 days or whatever. I need to step away and I tend to go outside and putter around in the garden, just shift my attention to something else completely. That's the key.
Hmm.
Go out for a walk, uh, just get away from the laptop and the internal quality of trying to write something.
Hmm.
And sometimes I come back to it fairly quickly, and other times um, it takes longer. I'm very good with short stories and poems. I tend to actually, you had referred to outlines and things. Can I jump there
Oh,
before
sure.
you?
Let's talk
Yeah.
about that lens as well.
So with those kind of stories, they kind of spring from me full born. I just sit down, I write them, and there's a little bit of revision that takes place, but not that much at all. It's just right there.
Hmm.
Whereas the nonfiction book I'm working on is much more difficult because that requires some sense of order,
Hmm.
which I don't do as a completely formal outline at all because I feel constrained by that kind of rigid way of thinking something through. But that's not to say I don't put things in order in my head and do a rough sketch on paper of where I need to go. But I'm lucky; I have a tremendous memory, and I just open it up and boom, out it comes, and I'm writing and writing, and it's coming and it's coming. However, on a nonfiction book, which is a tale of how I got to a drug warlord in Asia, you can't just do that. There are other aspects of it which you have to talk about, and it's forced me into coming up with some sort of plan as to what's left of the research I need to do in certain areas, and how to insert that into the book. But I find it's a bit like making a quilt, I suppose, when you're writing nonfiction, and probably true for some bigger fiction books. Uh, you know, there is revision, but you're tweaking, you're stepping back, looking at the big picture, and then going in on the deeper aspect of the detail. And
Hmm.
it's this constant process, and hopefully you're moving forward until the day comes when it's finished.
Yeah, it's a good process. Where can people who want to find you on social media?
Oh, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I have an Instagram account, but I only put my book covers on it.
Hmm.
And even that, I think I screwed it up. I have to, tomorrow, I have a friend who's going to show me how to take it off and put it back on. So it's done correctly. Um, so yeah, that's about it for social media. I mean, I'm on LinkedIn, but I don't know anybody that uses LinkedIn at this point. I
Yeah.
mean,
So is that Kushka girl?
Oh,
Kushka.
oh, it's
Oh,
KUSHKA 53.
oh,
So
I
if you
see.
do a general
Kushka
Google,
53.
yeah.
Okay. And people can find your stories. The titles are one is in Escape. It's Escaping Death, One Sleepy Summer Afternoon under Karen Petersen, and Bewildered Reflections Upon an Aching Life in the romance one, and that's under Kushka Girl. Yeah, right. So oh,
I
great.
think I have those links, or if they're not there now, they're going to be there. They just escaped me in the last couple of weeks. Those links should be on my website.
Okay. There's a
Yeah,
few things I want to show you before I let you go, if you're okay with it. One is the cover for the
absolutely.
book. I'd like to get your reaction if you're okay with it.
Sure, sure.
Kind of a
But
cover
remember,
reveal.
you have to tell me what demographic you're looking for
Oh,
with
for the
these
book?
merchant. Huh?
So, oh, for the book, everyone is the
No,
demographic.
the merchandise.
Oh, okay. For the merchandise, I'm not really sure yet. That's a good question. I want to look into the demographic. I was thinking everyone, but the way it looks, it could just be space, I guess. Would be
Okay,
people who like outer space and people who are into Hitchhiker's Guide and want some kind of nostalgia feel.
okay.
They use the logo, which is kind of that. But first, I want to show you the cover of the book itself. And yeah, let's get
Oh,
to the
lovely.
merchandise after that.
Great.
Here we go. Because yeah, I think getting the writer's reactions is the best way. So this would be the cover. It's 42 images on both sides from a photographer, Katya. She yeah
I
collected
like
these
it.
throughout the years. Yeah,
What is 42? What's after on the title? 42 what?
book of 42 squared
Oh yeah, okay.
because
Okay.
1,764 stories, so 42.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
I like it. It's good.
All right. Yeah, the more I look at this, the more I like it too. When I first saw it, I wasn't sure, and then I went, wait, that's 42 here, 42 here. Oh, yeah. And she collected. Yeah.
Why, oh, quick question.
Oh,
Why is the spacing between the photos not completely equidistant?
uh,
The
I think it was,
vertical and the horizontal are different sizes.
yeah, I think that was what she could do with the space she had to fit it, and I think it's about spacing.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm happy to relay the message that that's what someone might ask. So thanks for that. How about I show you the merchandise you mentioned too?
Okay.
Just adjust one thing
Must
because
be
I have
t-shirts,
so many
hats.
tabs open. What's that?
I hope you have a hat that says 42 squared.
Yeah, there is that.
Good.
I'm glad you asked. There is that for sure. Let's see. So if you go to Redbubble, you'll be able to see it. And I think the hat's here under the main logo. But with Redbubble, you actually have to kind of scroll down and then click products, and then you can see all the things, including a hat. Yeah. But what I'd like is a cowboy hat that said it. That'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. There's stuff for pets too, like cats and dogs.
You're kidding.
Yeah, right here, pet cat and dog mat.
Oh yeah, there it is. Oh wow. That's funny.
It kind of looks outer spacey because I took the logo and put it on there. Yeah. Yeah. So thanks for your reaction to that. Anyway, and thank you for your time today.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
And okay, so again, people who want to find you can find you under KarenPetersenWriter.com. All right. Thanks.
Okay.